the best way for you as a counselor, pastor, in these situations, is to experience it yourself. And you experience it over and over and over again. He never fails. He comes up with the most brilliant. You know that it's so far beyond you. I mean, many times I've sat there and thought, this is bizarre, because it's so far out of the box for me, and yet it heals and there's fruit. And after you watch him do this over and over, it's probably been thousands. I've been doing it for 11 years with Karl, but I've also provided it for that long. He outsmarts me most of the time. I don't have the 47,000 hours, whatever it was. But he's just magnificent. And it builds, one of the wonderful things about coaching is it builds capacity for you. Because he just is so good at it. And it works.
Your faith, you can feel your faith growing. When you, like the disciples, when they saw him heal, like, what do you think that was? 50,000? How many people? It says they brought him all the sick and demonized from those 10 cities and he healed them all. That was more than 3, I'm sure. Yeah. What's that got to be, like in a weekend? That's 2, 3, 5,000. They saw him heal 100,000 people. When you see him do the emotional healing thing over and over again, you can feel your faith growing. As you see him do this over and over, and he is faithful, and he's... Now, occasionally he'll do simple stuff, actually, especially if you've got training, you'll recognize, oh, I could have done that. Well, I knew that answer. Like, sexual abuse, I'm dirty, and 1,000 people have told them no, and the books all told them no, and they told themselves no. But in the memory where they feel dirty, it hasn't changed. Jesus shows up in the memory. He tells them what everybody else has been telling them for their entire life. You were just a little girl. It wasn't your fault. But they say, you know what? This is the weirdest thing. But I don't feel dirty in this memory for the first time since it happens. And I thought, you know what? That didn't surprise me. I've seen him do that a bunch of times. That's kind of a classic one. He does it and it actually works. But as far as the principle involved, that wasn't a new one. But there's other times where we'll be in a session and I'm just like, I have no idea. We're both, do you have any idea where this might go? No idea, Lord. But we've learned enough to well, can you still perceive Jesus? Well, yeah. Good. That's my response. Right? I have no clue. Ask him. And it feels like, for those of you who know the book Flatland, any mathematicians in the crowd who know the book Flatland, the premise is like a two-dimensional world. They don't know about the third dimension. And the whole world is 2 dimensions, and all the answers are 2-dimensional, and everything is 2-dimensional. And if you were looking for the answer in 2 dimensions, and the answer is up, it's not on your screen. And it's like we would have this, we're totally we are out of ideas. We've explored every 2-dimensional option you can think of. And we're like, okay, Jesus, and up. Oh, why didn't we see that? And that happens on a somewhat regular basis where he'll do something. Afterwards, you just say, oh, wow, that was so elegant. That was... He's a brilliant clinician. I love working with him.